Hey, good Monday, G-Force. Tom Ginn here. I I am so grateful for this moment. Today has been an incredible morning. I planned on coming on earlier. However, the gardeners are out here and the landscapers mowing and blowing and cutting bushes and all that. So the noise was pretty significant. So I had to put it off. You still may hear some in the background, so I apologize on that. Today, I'm so grateful for this moment. G is for gratitude. Gratitude, it changes everything. I believe it's the mortar between the bricks of life, and it negates negativity. It negates how we view the world, how we overcome obstacles and difficulties. No matter what's going on in us, if we move to a state of gratitude and express that in many different ways, but express it in your heart and in your mind, watch what happens. You can't hold a negative thought and a positive thought at the same time. That's a technique that I teach, that to move from that state of confusion, frustration, fear, anger to a state of the direct opposite. And it's through gratitude. When you go to a place of gratitude, it's the switch that turns off the negativity, so you have a better perspective. You can respond versus react. So gratitude, very powerful principle. I use it in my coaching practice, along with some other high-powered programs that I coach and teach through the Proctor Gallagher Institute, Thinking into Results. And of course, I have many mentors and many people that have influenced my life, and how I use that to share how to get better in our thinking. See, gratitude is a thought process. Gratitude is an attitude. Those attitudes are formed at the subconscious level. And today I'm going to be getting back into the book here, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And we have, hey Ted, how you doing? Thanks. Share it out with your friends. Again, thanks Ted for jumping on. Today I want to talk a little bit about, we're going to get into this book, and then we're going to migrate away from this book, because no matter what we're trying to accomplish, change in our life, whether it be personal, relationships, money, the process the same as understanding how the subconscious works. But today, I'm going to be talking about this principle right here. The power of the subconscious mind, the treasure within you, and the mindset of wealth. The subconscious for wealth, how that is formed. And before I get into the lesson, I'm going to play a short 5-minute video, because a lot of times people say, well, wealth is, luck, or it's knowledge, or it's this or that, all sorts of reasons. But how you view wealth, prosperity in life has been programmed into you. And I'm going to share my story with you. Now, I've had a lot of success in my life. Of course, I've also had a lot of setbacks and disappointments and struggles, like everybody. But in my career and my business, I always had a limiting belief system. And I wasn't aware of until I started exploring my beliefs through coaching. And I want to play my why video, because this is how I operated up until a number of years ago. And so just sit back. This is my why video, why I do what I do. It shares my story in relationship to money, how I was sabotaging myself, and how I found solutions. So enjoy this 5 minutes. It's my why, my story, my old paradigms. And then I'm going to get into the lesson today, is how I change my mindset, beliefs, and paradigms around that story. We all have a story. So it's important to Get clear. Why do we do what we do? Why do we think the way we do? And when you have a coach, they can help you identify that and get clear to change those things that are not serving you in life. So I'm going to go right now to the video. It'll be 5 minutes approximately. So enjoy, and I'll be right back with you. Again, I'm going to share today why I do what I do. My parents grew up in the Depression era. My mother had 4 children before she was age 20. My stepfather married my mother. And growing up in our household, the story around money was always lack. There was never enough. We couldn't do certain things because there wasn't enough money. So that's all I saw as a child. And I remember one conversation my father had with my mother. My mother wanted to do something. Of course, it was around the money. And he made a comment to her. One of the reasons I married you was to make sure your 4 children had a roof over their head, clothes on their back, and food on the table. We can't afford it. That had such an impact on my little mind. I owned it. I thought I was the reason for lack in our family, and the reason my mother couldn't get what she wanted. So I harbored that. And as a child growing up in school, I struggled in school. I had 2 learning disabilities. One is mild ADHD, which means I can't really focus on any one thing. I had struggling learning in school. And I felt frustrated, and I didn't think I was as smart as the other kids. And then the other learning disability I have is audio dyslexia, which means I can hear something, but if I have to write it down, it doesn't translate, and it's a frustrating thing. My greatest fear in school was having the teacher come and ask me to come to the blackboard and write a problem or write a sentence. I would hear it, I could see it in my mind, but I couldn't write it, and I would freeze, and it was the greatest fear I had. And one day, Mrs. Woods again called me to the blackboard, and I froze. And she became very frustrated through this experience, and she said, "Tommy, are you dumb or something?" That was like a knife. It just reinforced what I believed about myself, that I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't capable. It just affirmed what I believed about myself. But as a young person, I had dreams, and one of my big dreams was to become a football coach. And I was very good in football. Matter of fact, in my sophomore year in high school, I had college offers. But in my junior year, I hurt my neck. Came back in my senior year, but something happened. All those offers disappeared because I was damaged goods. My dream was shattered. My dreams I felt were taken away from me. I didn't feel I was capable enough to go to school on my own intellect. And I certainly didn't have the money. My parents didn't have the money. So I resigned myself away from that dream. And that was hard on me. That leads me to something in my life that had a dark side in my life. I turned to drugs to bury the pain and the frustrations. But things changed. A pivotal point in 1983. A friend of mine came to me and says, I have a friend that can show you how to use money more effectively. And he sat down with me, and he said, I can show you how you can take your money and have some prosperity in your life. And I said, I'm all in on that. I definitely didn't want to have the life that my parents had shared about lack. So I implemented those processes, but through time I came to realize that the product and the services that he sold me weren't what he said they were. I became angry. And I wanted to do something about it. So I went to work within the financial service industry to right some wrongs. It was my new passion. It was my new football field. And in that career of 19 years, I was self-sabotaging. I wasn't getting the promotions that were in line. And people would say, why? And I didn't have an answer. My income stalled out. And people say, why? I didn't have an answer. It wasn't until years later, through coaching and mentoring, that I was introduced to that what was happening in my life and my limiting beliefs and my self-image was holding me back. And through coaching and mentoring, I broke the shackles of limiting beliefs. So the reason I do what I do, it's my passion to help people realize their limitless potential. In closing, if you want to remove your self-imposed limitations to your financial future, business and professional ambitions, and your life dreams, give me a call. Let's enjoy a limitless future and abundant life together. That's my story. So we all have a story that affects how we operate and the results we get in our life. And that was a difficult thing for me to do, is to share that. But I had to come to awakening, and I've gotten coaching and understood that how I was operating in life was directly related to my belief system and my self-image. And those are imprinted in you at the subconscious level. And just being aware of it isn't going to change that without exploration, without a process. And that's what I've been coached in. And it's radically shifted my mind and how I deal with money and my self-image and all those things that we're programmed into that kept me in a programmed state. And we're all programmed. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have something that when we recognize and we change our thinking at a subconscious level, we can make unbelievable changes. Because within you, there's a treasure house of wealth, of passion, belief, capability, unlimited capability, but how you've been programmed. That's my story. I've been successful in my life in the eyes of many people, that people say, gee, I wish I had your success. And, but I was way below my capabilities. I was self-sabotaging because of this limiting beliefs and self-programming. So I want to get into this book, and it will tie in to what we just talked about today. This is what I discovered, how I worked through it, through coaching and mentoring. And if you ever want to reach out to me and find out how I can help you in any of those areas, I'm glad to have that conversation. My calendar link is there. My contact information is through this scrolling banner. But let's talk about the book here, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And then next week, we're going to migrate over to this book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. So it's sort of a natural transition to move from understanding how our mind works. But let's talk about this principle right here. How to use the power of your subconscious mind for wealth. Now, wealth comes in many different definitions, but we're going to be talking specifically about the monetary, the physical wealth that you can acquire in life. The question you always need, what is your belief around money? Do you have a prosperity mindset, abundance mindset, or lack mindset? You have one or the other. A limiting belief, even on the prosperity. See, if you're having financial difficulties, if you're trying to make ends meet, you are convincing your mind of that problem. You got to shift that. If you're having difficulty with money, your perspective is in lack. You're dealing with the problem, not the solution. See, whatever we feed our subconscious dictates the actions and the results we get. So let's talk about what we all know is the average person has 6,000 to 50,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are negative. So if you talk about money, what's your first thought? Do you go to lack? Do you go to problem? Do you go to scarcity? Or do you go to, I have a life full of abundance and money comes to me from multiple sources? And I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm healthy, wealthy, prosperous, positive. Whatever you feed it on a positive basis is what you're going to get. But you got to push out the old negativity with a different mindset. See, wealth is of the mind. Wealth is simply a subconscious conviction. That's an emotion, desire. What do you attach to emotionally? And do you have a mindset as I'm a millionaire? I'm a billionaire? I'm a millionaire? I'm a billion, whatever it is. What do you say to yourself in a positive way? I am. I am. See, let's go to this point here. This will hopefully give you some clarity here. Your invisible means of support. See, our subconscious loves conformity, whatever it's been, its comfort level. We're looking for security. We don't want to take risk. As we do this in relation to money, maybe I will fail. Maybe I'll lose money. So what is the invisible thinking you have around insecurity around money? I used to be very insecure about money. Lack. I was worried. Didn't have enough. All those things. Those are invisible. Insecurities. That's a belief system. That's a feeling. You got to identify it. And through evaluating your thoughts, can you make those changes? A man with poverty type mindset, which I had for years, and I was successful. I had limiting beliefs. And guess what? My subconscious supported it. Who I hung around supported it. How I made decisions are my subconscious. I didn't have a strong relationship with money and wealth. When you talk to successful people financially, when you really dig deep, they have a different relationship at a subconscious level about wealth and prosperity, the ability to have it. They never worry about, is there a lack? What if I lose my job? What if I lose my business? What if this? What if that? What if they don't? They have a mindset that no matter what happens, they can move through it and create the reality of wealth. And that's a belief system at an emotional level. And guess what they end up doing? They don't get stuck. They just flip. They go vertical. They pivot. They have a different mindset. And when I learned that, and it came to, again, fruition when COVID hit, thank God I had all this coaching behind me. Thank God I had multiple streams of income. Thank God my relationship of money and wealth was enrooted at a subconscious level over the last 6 years, because I could have got stuck. I could have gone back to poor me, woo, victim, all those things which are your subconscious is supporting, will endorse. It doesn't know right or wrong, but it will stay in a comfort zone. To become wealthy, to change your mindset, takes work. It takes work. It takes a different type of work. So ask yourself, what's your first thought when you hear wealth? Are you worthy? Are you capable? Do you believe? Or do you say, oh, that I can never do that? I'm not. You see, you cannot outperform a belief or your self-image. That's what my video was about. My mindset around money and how I looked at money. And money was, for the wealthy, those are a whole different group of people. We're meant to struggle. We're not those special people. And that's how I was brought up. And guess what? And I did have some influence that brought me to a different level out of that. But my belief system, my self-image about my capability, my learning disability. So you stack all these beliefs together, they start giving you different types of results. And when I met with Bob Proctor for the first time personally, me becoming a consultant, a personal development coach, I wanted to. So I came to him with my business plan and all that. And through that conversation, about 90 minutes, Bob recognized right up front the plan that I had put together, and I'd put businesses together, business plans, and that before, and because my business was projected over a 5-year period to generate about a $1.2 million revenue stream. And after that interview, Bob basically says, Tom, the best plans in the world won't work for you. And I said, what do you mean, Bob? He says, the best plans for anybody may not work if you don't have a strong enough belief system. He asked me this question: what's the most money you ever made? And I shared that with him. And it was far less than the 1.2 million. It was, compared to a lot of people's income, the national and average, it was pretty significant income. But it was, he says, Tom, you've been programmed from how you were a child to where you are today, and I stalled out at that income range. And I didn't have an answer why I was stalling out. I dropped below that. I knew how to get back to it. I go over it once in a while. Guess what? My subconscious, I crash and burn, self-sabotage, because we're programmed. See, your subconscious doesn't know right, wrong, good, or whatever. It's going to operate how it's been programmed. And you'll support that belief system with the people you hang around with, the books you read. All the things will support the outcomes you get, thinking of the results. You have to reprogram it. See, you were programmed through repetition over a long period of time. To change it, just because you read the book, just because you get a new idea, just because somebody gives you a technique, just because you have that knowledge, doesn't mean you're going to be able to execute it and have success. That's where the biggest failure is in workshops and all those type of things. They never get to the root cause, which is the belief system, to help you become more successful, whether it be in business, relationship, in sales. It's all the subconscious relationship. And when Bob interviewed me, and at first I wanted to push back. My ego got in the way, and those type of things. Another thing that'll get in your way of growth is your ego. You think you're too smart, or you know it all, or whatever the case may be. But I trusted what Bob was sharing with me, and this is the first exercise he did with me. He wanted me to do this for 30 straight days. We crafted, through a conversation, I crafted a visionary statement that I would say every day in front of a mirror for 5 minutes, over and over and over again. Now, when I even wrote it out the first time, my subconscious, Tom, that's not you. You who do you think you are? You're a millionaire? Now, I was already on the path to become a millionaire, but creating $1 million in a year, that was beyond my belief system. See, I got to financial independence because I was in an industry and applied some technique to grow beyond that. I had a limiting mindset. And so this is what he had me to do. I wrote it out every morning when I got up. I went to the mirror and I looked at myself, turned on my timer, and said this statement for 5 minutes every day for 30 days. Don't miss a day. If you miss a day, you got to start over, because you broke the cycle of reprogramming your belief system. So I did it. So the first time I said this statement, it was like, who are you kidding? I didn't believe it. The second day, it changed a little bit. So I started getting a little emotional attachment to that. My subconscious say, yeah, this feels pretty good. At the end of a week, it changed. After 2 weeks, it changed. At the end of 1 month, my mindset about wealth and prosperity, the ability to accumulate assets, the ability to create an abundant lifestyle, draws money to me. Opportunity. I'm not set back by circumstances or COVID or whatever's out there, because my mindset is stronger. But keep in mind, your old program may come back if you're not aware of it. And this is what he asked me to do. And this is the statement. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning a minimum of $100,000 a month from multiple sources of income. People are seeking me out for the services and solutions I have to offer. I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, and it is done. I did that for 30 days, and I still go back to it. When I see my mindset shifting to a lack mentality or personal image, and guess what? Boom, it shifts me. And see, it's through gratitude. I'm grateful that I have an abundant source. See, our mind is limiting. We can't comprehend unlimited source. We can't comprehend unlimited opportunity, unlimited money, we can't. We have infinite supply is beyond our capability to know. But all you have to do is lift your mind up and believe and reprogram your subconscious. Once you do that in anything you do, but in and around money, practice that technique. If you want to know how to write that statement, be free to touch base with me. I can talk about that. 5 minutes a day in a mirror for 30 days and just watch what happens, because our results we get in life are directly in relationship to our subconscious thinking. And watch what happens. Your confidence goes up. Your belief system around making money. You're not worried about lack. If your business is struggling, your sales are struggling, you start shifting your belief system, because success in sales, and I've trained a lot of salespeople, and what you've come to find out is their relationship with money and their relationship to how they perceive sales is holding them back. Those that are exceeding at high levels, they have a strong relationship with money, a strong relationship asking for money. They feel good about money, and they are able to draw through that confidence the prosperity that comes with that subconscious thinking. So if you're in sales, same process. What's your relationship with money? And the people that are succeeding at a higher level have a stronger relationship with money, wealth, and acquisition of money. So it's all subconscious based in belief system. Make sure that your affirmation is in now statements. I am so happy and grateful now that you're living it before you obtained it in your mind at an emotional level. If you go, oh, I want to become wealthy, I want to be a millionaire, that is not futuristic. That is supporting the subconscious belief system you have. So be very careful the words you choose. So your subconscious accepts what you really feel to be true. Your negative thinking, your subconscious doesn't know right on. It just knows that it to be true. It doesn't evaluate it. So keep that in mind. Your subconscious accepts what you really feel to be true. Not just the idle words or statements. You just can't say idly, I want to become, I believe I am, or I am, just casually. It has to be attached with repetition at an emotional level, and it will force out all the negatives, and your perspective about wealth accumulation will change. Because your subconscious is controlling the outcomes. And there's a lot of people that have a tremendous amount of success, but they also have limiting beliefs. They still have something in their story that could change it, move them to the next level. We all have something, whether it be in money, relationships, business, whatever. Everything, you take the same concept I'm talking about, you can apply it in any area of your life. So tell yourself, instead of I want to improve my sales, say this: my sales are improving every day. My sales are improving every day. I'm so happy and grateful that people are seeking me out. Different type of talk. And the results will follow. Keep in mind, the bus you're driving in life, you can identify what direction you're going by the first thought. Your first thought. That's the indicator of what you're thinking at a subconscious level. If I say wealth, boom, what's your first thought? Making $1 million, what's your first thought? Having financial freedom, what's your first thought? Successful relationship, what's your first thought? So your first thoughts dictate where you are, and it'll dictate what direction you're going. So with that all said, I just wanted to use that video today. Also, we'll be moving into this book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And it will take what I talked about today and understanding the mindset that the wealthy have. This is the science. There's science behind it. There's not luck. There's a lot of things associated. Do you believe that upgrading your community will help? You got to believe that. It gives you the confidence to move in that circle. As you change your thinking, everything around you changes. I love what Wayne Dyer says. When you change your thinking, the world changes. It's all. It's your perspective. How do you see it? How do you believe? So today, I hope today's lesson from my story will cause you to change your minds, set your beliefs and your paradigms. Paradigms, your habitual belief systems. That's the power of the subconscious. There is a treasure house within you. To create the wealth that you seek, it has to be created here at an emotional level, at a belief system, and start applying that thinking daily. So share and tag with your friends today. But I want to make a couple of announcements. Tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, Mark Gasser and I are doing an interview with a special guest. He's been on before, Randy Chafee. And he's going to talk about his mindset, how he's transitioned from old school to new school, what's going on in the realm of business, how he's moving through this, because what was in the past, we have to make those vertical changes. People say pivoting, adapting, or whatever it is. And he'll share with you how he's adapted. Now he's a hybrid between old school, new school. Can't wait to do that interview. On Thursdays, Mark and I are doing a seminar on the 8 principles that if you don't understand to solve will ruin you financially. So mark your calendars. You can go to this link right here to register. It's going to be 30 to 40 minutes presentation. We're going to outline the 8 areas you've really got to understand how to accumulate wealth. There are 8 things that are destroying your wealth building strategies right now. If you're not aware of them, don't have a solution to those problems, they're there. You can't avoid them, but if you don't take control of them, they won't give you the outcome that you expected, because you've got to know those things and take action. So we're going to cover those principles on Thursday. So turn on your notifications, register. We do have a special bonus that we're providing for anybody that attends that meeting. And so join in on Thursday evening, Mark Gasser and myself. Go to this link here. The registration link is in my Linktree Educo group. So again, I'm so grateful for this moment, for this day. Tag and share your friends. Change your mindset about wealth and prosperity. What do you really believe? Are you feel that you're worthy? See, success comes down to self-image. You can't outperform a belief or self-image. So be free to reach out to me. Any questions you have, my calendar is right here. You can go to this link. You can schedule a time to chat with me. Have a great day. God bless everybody. I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm so happy and grateful now that abundance flows to me from multiple sources, that people are seeking out what I have to offer. I'm confident, I'm happy, I'm wealthy, and it is done. Have a great day. with gratitude.